I do want to take a quick moment to talk about this notion of Abraham as the first Jew, which is, I think, very common, is what I grew up with. But I want to suggest that there's something a little bit problematic about it, in part because what it does is it conflates Judaism, which is a religion that exists today in the world, and ancient Israelite religion, which is a religion that existed back then in ancient Israel. Um, when we say Abraham was the first Jew, we're essentially eliding a quite significant distinction between ancient Israelite religion and Judaism. Judaism is a set of, as every religion is really, a set of practices and beliefs, right, that is centered around the interpretation of older texts, the biblical texts, but isn't identical with those texts, right? The religion of the Hebrew Bible is one that centers around bloody animal sacrifice at a central temple. Judaism is not that religion. It's unclear, or at least it's not, there's no like bright dividing line for when ancient Israelite religion ends and what we think of now as Judaism begins. It certainly wasn't before the exile in the 6th century. It was almost certainly considerably later than that. And as a basic rule, with the exception of maybe the very, very latest books, maybe a book like Daniel, there is no Judaism in the Hebrew Bible. So why is this important? Why am I taking this opportunity to mention it? Because I think that this is a mistake that's made often enough that it's worth pointing to, and it has repercussions that are usually very unintentional. But the identification of Judaism with the religion of the Bible, with ancient Israelite religion, with the sacrificial cult of the temple, and that identification can sometimes lead to supersessionism, insofar as it reads Judaism as like, it makes Judaism ancient. Judaism is Old Testament, and then of course followed by New, right? Judaism becomes part of the like narrative structure going back to the Hebrew Bible that leads into the New Testament and toward Jesus, right? It makes Judaism an ancient cult rather than a living religion. Of course, Christianity does come out of Judaism, but not really as like much later as you'd think if you start calling Abraham the first Jew, right? Both Judaism and Christianity are really start to emerge from basically the same cultural milieu at the same time and largely the same place. And both Christianity and Judaism are based on the interpretation of ancient Israelite texts and ancient Israelite beliefs. Right? So Judaism is a community of interpretation of the Hebrew Bible, but it's not the Hebrew Bible itself. And in that sense, Abraham was not the first Jew. Abraham was really just the first Israelite. And like, nobody tell Jacob that Abraham was the first Israelite, right? That's an interfamily fight that they can have later.